This is a quick demo of the new Cloud Sync functionality in Polar. So what you see when you first log into Polar now is you see your current document repository, just like you normally would, but at the top right there's a button called Cloud Sync. And in order for it to work, you just click the Cloud Sync button. You'll get this dialog box basically explaining Cloud Sync, how it works, and so forth. And then you just hit the sign up button. You will be prompted to log in with, you can use your Google login, or you can just create an account with your regular email and password. And then on initial sync, it will do a full transfer of the files between your desktop and the cloud. Right now, it is powered by Firebase. So I'm really happy with Firebase. It's a really nice framework. It's not perfect, but it's pretty nice. And this initial one is pretty quick because I'm already synced. And then once you're synchronized, you'll get this logout button. And that's essentially it. I'm going to go ahead and reload so you can see this. Progress bar up here at the top. One of the things I'm going to replace in the next version is I'm going to have this logout button be a pull down, and then you can actually see a little bit more stats about Cloud Sync and how it's working. And that's it. It's essentially synchronized. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up my virtual machine. This is a Windows virtual machine that I have running, and it's just going to run in the background and show you what the Cloud Sync functionality looks like. So essentially, these are effectively two different computers. This window is essentially in my Ubuntu environment, and this other window to the left is on Windows. And so we're going to go to the most updated documents, and you can see they're the same document set. And so I'm going to capture a new document in Polar. This is going to be captured in the Ubuntu environment. So just go to example.com, then captures. I mean, it's pretty, it's a pretty bland site, so I'm not going to edit it, obviously. And then it was automatically transferred, so you can see it was copied to. It was copied over in, very quickly. That was less than a second. It's usually really quick. It's usually, less than a second. So let's update a page mark on it, on this document here. There we go. So the progress was updated. So what is actually happening here is that as you're editing the document in real time, they're being committed to Firebase. The application, any other Polar instances that are running in real time get the update immediately. The latencies are pretty quick. They're usually about around a second. This is a little bit slower because the machine to my left is in a virtual machine, and it is always a little bit slow. And you can see it's updating. And this includes all the metadata in the document. So highlights, flashcards, comments, everything that you're editing, including the page marks, obviously, get captured, including the document deletes. So if you go up here and you delete the document, it'll vanish from the left. And so now they're both in sync. So this is really awesome for me personally. The way I'm going to use it is, I have a laptop next to me, my MacBook, and I can just, if I want to go out, in the other room and read on my laptop, I can just grab it and sit down on the couch, and I don't have to worry about resyncing. And if the machine is closed, well, then what happens on startup? It just does a full sync, and then it pulls down whatever has been written to Firebase in the meantime. It also means that your accounts just work. So if you have a Google account, it'll work. I'm going to add support for GitHub and Facebook and some of the other platforms so that, if you have an existing OAuth account, you can just log in. If you don't want to use that and you want to use your own personal email, you can do that as well. It supports any arbitrary email, so you can sign up with mark@example.com. And one of the reasons I really like Firebase and the plans for the future are to enable real-time document collaboration and synchronization. So if you want to invite someone to see your Polar documents, you can do that, and they will be able to see your documents and vice versa. They can't change. They can for the initial version, they won't be able to change them, but I want to enable support so that way you can discover documents. So you could go into their repo and see documents that they want you to see and pull them down. So you can browse them by tag, just like you normally could, and you can also browse them by title and dive right into them. And then, it excuse me, it should also support some really nice features like discovery by rank, so show the top top ranking documents, and then also document collaboration. So if you have a colleague and they have a PDF file and they import it and you import it, you can see his highlights and he can see your highlights, and it should be a great collaboration platform. And the cool thing is that 80 to 90% of the functionality here is already done. The other thing I implemented for this release is snapshots and directory backups. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to do daily backups, local backups of your files. So what I implemented was, technically they're implemented through this trick called hard links. And hard links are basically a separate name for the same file. So long story short, I can basically create a full copy of your Polar directory sort of inside itself, and it will stay there even if you accidentally deleted your files. So like if I went through here and actually deleted them from the cloud and they didn't actually appear, at least you could restore them from a backup. Right now, that's preliminary support. The backups work and they're created. In fact, as soon as you create one in Polar now, when you create one, we create one when you initially sync, just in case there's an error or something like that. I don't think there will be. I've tested this extensively, but I wanted to just be on the safe side. So what we do is, as soon as you pair with Cloud Sync, we create a snapshot of your document repository, so that way you feel a little bit more confident that all your data is there. So right now the release is it's pre-release, so I tag it pre-release so no one will get it by default, and if you download, you'll still get the old release. I'm going to wait until I hear some feedback from the initial developers that it's really stable. I've been playing with it for about a week now. It is really nice. It is really nice to not have to worry about synchronizing the files. I can just grab my laptop and go upstairs and work on my work in the other room without having to synchronize, and I can just come back to my desk and the files are all there. So please give me some feedback to this. I'm really interested to see how you guys are interacting with it and any feedback you have. Thanks very much.